Today I'm going to cook up a couple of chickens. I'm going to roast them in the oven. I was going to try to do them on the grill, but it's getting too cold and it's supposed to snow a little bit later. So I'm going to do them in the oven and roast them. Do two of them, so I'm going to season each one a little bit differently. I'm going to use some of my favorites. This is the Simply Marvelous sweet and spicy rub. I'm going to use this in conjunction with some Simply Marvelous seasonal. I'm going to put both of these on one of the chickens. These are some of my favorite seasonings and rubs to use on a variety of meats. If you're interested in finding them, you can go to simplymarvelous.com. That's simplymarvelous.com, and you'll find them there on the website. They're really good stuff. Glad I found them. Glad I use them. But I'm also going to use this Lowry's. It's a chicken. See if we get the light just right there. Chicken and poultry rub. I'm going to use this on the other chicken. It's really good. You can find it pretty much anywhere, and if you can't find it anywhere locally, you can get it online. I think at Amazon.com probably, or some other places as well. While I'm mentioning it, Tony Ketcher's original Creole seasoning. There, you can get a good look at it that way. And like I said, it's great on everything. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not real crazy. If you go lightly with it, if you don't like things too seasoned and too spicy, go lightly with it. If you like things more intense, then go more heavily with it. It's just a good all-around spice mixture that you can use on pretty much any kind of meat. So don't think I'm exclusive with Simply Marvelous. I just really like them because they are Simply Marvelous. Anyways, let's get going. What I have here is a couple of average chickens. And what I'm going to do is take a clean paper towel and just blot them dry to remove any excess moisture. The Food and Drug Administration recommends that you do not wash poultry, which means chicken and turkey. I think the reason for this is because when people wash it off, the water tends to splatter around the sink. You may not even see it. They might be very tiny very tiny little water droplets, and you may not actually see them. But when they land all over the counter and all over the faucet and sink, they could have some bacteria from the chicken in them, and that's where a lot of times people have a problem with cross-contamination. So if you do wash them off, be very careful with it. Use a very, very low water pressure, and when you get through washing them, make sure you wipe down the sink area and the counter all around the kitchen sink, just to be safe. It doesn't hurt to be extra careful. So I'm going to blot the excess water off of these chickens. Then I'm going to wash my hands off here real quick. So as you probably know, there's probably at least 1,000,001 different ways you can season a chicken and cook it. You can brine it, you can marinate it, you can just throw it in the, well, I wouldn't throw it in the oven. You might want to put it in a roasting pan of some type first. By the way, this particular roasting pan has sort of a built-in rack. It's got ridges in the bottom and it's raised up a little bit, so it'll help the fat to drain away from the meat, so it's not quite so soaking in it while it's cooking. If you don't have a pan like that, you can use a small rack in there, or you can put a couple of pieces of aluminum foil crumpled up to raise it off the bottom. In the worst case, go ahead and just set it right on the bottom of the pan. You may lose a little chunk of the skin off it when you remove it, but it's not the end of the world. Still going to taste mighty good. Anyways, this is the way I like to do them. As a whole roasted chicken, I use a extra virgin olive oil spray. I prefer olive oil over canola or any of the other oils. There's a huge variety you can use. Some people have preferences, and this one is mine. I use it for everything. It's easy, it's good, it's healthy, and it's just the way I do it. Anyways, I'm going to spray a light coat of olive oil all over the chicken. This will help the seasonings to stick to it much better. And then I'm going to spray another really light coat on top of the seasoning to kind of hold all of them together and make sure they don't fall off quite so easily while it's cooking. So, just going to shake the pan, shake the bottle, I mean. Give the chicken a little spritz there, and actually, I'm going to do, just like I got it. I have it set up right. I was playing a trick on myself. This is the back of the chicken. I'm going to season them first. Then I'm going to flip it over and season the other side. Or perhaps I should say I'm going to carefully turn it over. There we go. And again, some olive oil spray. Get all the little nooks and cranny places that are exposed. Get a little bit of an angle. Try to get a good coating. These are kind of large pieces of this rub in here, so needs a lot of moisture from the spray to help them stick better. There, I've got a very generous coating on there, and now a little spray. By the way, in case you're wondering on this olive oil spray, it's the extra virgin olive oil, and according to the label, there are no calories, no fat, no sodium, no sugar. So it's about as healthy as you're going to get for a vegetable spray. And I missed a spot right there. There. Now on to the second chicken. I'm going to go with the seasonal here first. Don't let cooking chickens put you in a foul mood. It's pretty easy. That was a joke, by the way. You can laugh at that later if you want to. It's really easy to do. It doesn't need to be complicated at all. And then to finish it off, to seal in and I'll wash my hands off again. You may have seen or heard of people putting some lemon slices or wedges, or some rosemary sprigs, or thyme, or any other types of things, apple slices, inside the cavity of the chicken, or even the turkey. And I've tried it, and nobody was able to perceive any flavor difference that was adding to the chicken or to the turkey. So I don't do it anymore. If it works for you, that's great. Keep on doing it. But for me, it just wasn't adding any flavor, and it was wasting food, and that I didn't want to just stick it in there and then take it out and throw it away. If it works for you and you like it, keep on doing it. But otherwise, I found that it just doesn't work for me. So, this is all I do. The oven has been preheated to 350 degrees. And I'm going to use, this is the temperature probe I'm going to insert into the breast of the chicken. And you want to try to get the tip of the probe into the breast as close to the middle as possible, making sure you don't go in too far and touch it to the bone, because you might get a false reading from it if you do that. So, let's see here. I'm going to insert it in this chicken breast right there. We'll put it in the oven. Our target temperature is 165 degrees. I'm probably going to pull it out when it hits 163 roughly, because the temperature will keep rising after you take it out of the oven, and it'll go to 165, maybe up to 167. That way it's plenty safe. And I'm just going to use this to plug in the temperature probe into. There we go, you can see now. And I'll program it to sound the alarm when it hits 164 degrees, 163 degrees. And we'll be eating it in no time. So I'll be back when they're ready to come out of the oven. Yeah, there they are. Took almost exactly 1.5 hours for it to get to 163 degrees. Let them sit and rest, and the temperature will climb another 2 or 3 degrees or so. This is the one with the Simply Marvelous seasoning. It's a little bit darker. This is the one over here that had the Lowry's poultry seasoning on it. I'll give you a little bit better view of them here. You can kind of see there's quite a bit of juice in the pan. I didn't add any water. Some of that's juice, some of it's fat. I'm going to pour that off in a little bit and let it cool down and skim the fat off of it and save the juice to use for cooking some rice or making a gravy perhaps. So I'll be back in a little bit and we'll see how they look. It's been about 35 minutes or thereabouts, and it's cooled down enough where it's fairly easy to handle. It's still pretty warm in the interior there, but we can go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to do this backwards so you can see what's going on here. I'm not an expert at cutting up a chicken, but I get the job done without too much problem. Here's the one leg there. I like to just use a folded paper towel, set it on the edge of the cutting board so it can absorb any of the excess juice without it going all over the place and making too much of a mess. To almost fall apart. So tender there. And then for getting the breast off, just cut just off the center a little bit, right down the side of the breastbone. You can see the remainder of the meat here. It's still really warm. It's hard to hold on to. It's just so hot still, even after a half an hour. You can see how tender and juicy that is. It's cooked all the way through. See the back side of that breast meat there. It's just very tender. Cooked all the way through. Tender, juicy, delicious. It's really simple, really easy to do. You don't have to make it complicated and make a lot of work out of it. It's really simple. Give it a try. Make any adjustments you need according to your own personal tastes. You saw the seasonings I used, and you can use any particular ones you like, or try what I have, or try a combination of different ones. But you can do it very simple, very easy, and make a Cook and Gobble good. We'll see you next time on Cook and Gobble videos.